We're in an age where those that are trying to somehow appease God are turning to self-loathing instead of having faith. And what I have learned is that self-loathing will never get you anywhere with God. You will never spread your wings and you will never soar as long as you're self-loathing. Feeling sorry for yourself, pitying yourself, being miserable, looking for company that's miserable, because everyone knows misery loves company. But if you are self-loathing, you're not pleasing God. That does not please God. In fact, the scripture says without faith, it is impossible to please God. He that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. This is a generation that thinks that giving up their riches, giving up their fancy houses, giving up their fancy cars, and living on less, that this is the answer. So they try to attack their egos. They try to do penance. They try to make themselves humble. And the scripture says, because they have not submitted to the righteousness of Jesus Christ, they go about to establish their own righteousness. Self-loathing. God's not looking for you and I to be miserable people. The Lord is looking for us to believe him. Did you know that's what God is looking for? Faith. He's looking for faith. God is looking for faith. Jesus says, when I come, will I find faith on the earth? We see Jesus speaking to Peter, O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? Then we see Jesus saying in one place, I have not seen so great faith, no, not in all of Israel. What does Jesus see in you, friend? Does he see someone of little faith? Does he see someone with great faith? Or is it worse? Does he see somebody that has no faith? Because Jesus spoke to the generation he was in and he said, this is a faithless generation. Does God see you? With faith. You know, when you don't have faith in God, you don't trust him. And if you don't trust God, you might as well be calling him a liar. How far do you think you're going to get with God calling him a liar? Now, the Lord is long-suffering. The Lord is patient. But I will tell you this, brothers and sisters, time is running out. And all the self-loathing you can do is not pleasing God. Can you imagine these folks today that are self-loathing, and all God is looking for is for them to believe him? If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. All things are possible. Not some things, all things. Why is it that we'll do anything, I mean anything, except what Jesus says to do? They asked Jesus one day, they said, Jesus, how can we work the works of God? He said, believe. No, brothers and sisters, you and I can't move mountains. But if we put our faith in the one that can move mountains, he can move mountains. He can do the impossible. See, this generation wants to think they can speak to mountains because their words are powerful, and they're being taught that their words are powerful. You can speak to a mountain all day long and it's not going anywhere. But if God speaks to that mountain, it must move. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Jesus said one word, and a legion of demons fled. A possessed man. He said the word go, and they were running, fleeing. And these demons were so bad that once they went into the swine, they choked them. They drowned them. You make you wonder, why didn't those demons that were in that man do that to him? As soon as they got into the swine, they killed him. How come this man was spared? And therein lies the question and the answer to you, my friend. Why, Jesus? How many know that Jesus knows you better than you know yourself? Remember what Jesus said? Philip, I saw you. I saw you under that fig tree. I want you to know, brothers and sisters, there is one that knows you better than anyone knows you. He knows you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He knows you. That's not a condemning thing. Come see a man that told me all things I ever did. Is this not the Christ? She went out just excited. Come see a man that told me all things I ever did. She wasn't condemned. Then they said themselves, we don't believe because you told us. She says, they said, we've heard him for ourselves. We believe he's the very Christ. This generation is willing to live on less and less, to the point where they're willing to become slaves on the ground that their forefathers fought for them to be free, instead of surrendering to Jesus Christ. And I'm watching this generation giving up more and more every day. Giving up their land, giving up everything, starting to just totally give up everything, even their own respect. No self-respect, no respect for themselves, no respect for one another. The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and destroy. If he's robbing us right now, not us, I shouldn't say us, because he's not robbing me. Well, he has robbed me in the past, but he's not robbing me anymore. But he comes to steal first. And if he's already pillaging and robbing the United States of America and its citizens and the people, what's the next thing to come to America after the thief has robbed them? The next step is death. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And the ultimate is destruction of the soul in hell. And there's a pattern going on here, people. There is a process in which the devil is following. He starts as a thief, then he kills, and then he destroys. The United States right now is in the place where the thief is stealing, is robbing, wants to steal our liberty, wants to steal our flag, wants to steal our integrity, wants to steal our convictions. And he is. He's robbing the United States blind right now. But the next step is death is at the door. Can you hear the knocking? Death is at the door. But there's also another one knocking. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and into him and sup with him and he with me. Death is knocking. But Jesus is knocking. Who are you going to open the door to?